why I will be focusing less on the UK's Innovator Founder Visa in 2025. This video is a combination of an announcement for the plans that I have for 2025, what I'm currently doing, and some of the factors that have prompted me to make this decision. It is, as I said, a bit of an announcement as to what I'm doing, and it's also a bit of a rant on some of the irritating trends that I have discovered in this sector and in terms of some of the people that I have interacted with. Not my clients at all. Every single client that I've had, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. I've had the privilege of working with a lot of talented innovators and founders. So this is nothing against them. And also perhaps this video could serve as a bit of an insight as to the dynamics of setting up a business in the UK for people who are considering this pathway of the Innovator Founder Visa. So let's get into it. Right, so generally I like to start my videos with a very brief introduction about me and what I do for people who are perhaps watching this video for the first time. And if you are a regular viewer of my channel, I have divided this section, so feel free to skip the About Me section, which is this one. So I'm a business consultant and I primarily work with international entrepreneurs who want to move abroad and set up a business abroad. I pretty much built this consultancy based on my own experience as a former immigrant founder who went through the business immigration journey in the UK, resulting in obtaining British citizenship. So I'm a former technology entrepreneur. I had a prop tech venture, which I scaled to 30 UK cities. I hired a total of 13 people for that venture across 4 jobs. But unfortunately, due to the 2020 pandemic, just as we were at the peak of the business, I was forced to shut it down. But that's the nature of entrepreneurship. So there's nothing much that can be done, but lessons to be learned. So about just over 2 years ago, I started this consultancy because I realized in my old days as a foreign entrepreneur, I found it quite difficult to start a business in another country. Well, I would find it difficult to start any business when I was 22 years old, which is when I started my first one. But generally, starting a business in another country, it comes with various challenges and obstacles. And I deemed it beneficial, and as the business model has proven, that a lot of founders could benefit from somebody who's been in that journey themselves as an international entrepreneur, but also someone who's been in the business, in the tech sector, in the startup world, somebody who has done that, somebody who's been there and done that, which is me. But anyways, and to be honest, for the past 2 years, it's been a roller coaster. I would say for the most part, it's been very pleasant. What I really enjoy about doing this is, getting to know and meeting founders from different backgrounds from all across the world. I've had clients from pretty much every single continent in the world. So it really gives me a chance to also learn about them, about their countries, about their backgrounds, about their concepts and everything. So there's nothing that I have complaints about in that regard. And as I said, every single client that I've worked with, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. So, however, I will dive into some of the things that I've observed in this consultancy journey, especially with respect to the Innovator Founder Visa. So, the first one I will start with is the fact that I have sort of observed that again, just my experience based on whom I've interacted with, which hasn't really been a little number of people either. So I do get a lot of inquiries for this. However, one pattern I've really observed is a decline in the quality of entrepreneurs that are seeking to move to the UK under this route or stay in the UK under the Innovator Founder Visa route. To give you an example, I cannot count the number of inquiries that I get, which follows with this. Hello, I am interested in this visa. I will give you 10K or 7K or something like that. I will give you this. Just do everything for me. Just give me the business idea, do the business plan. Basically do the whole thing for me, which is obviously against the law. I'm not an immigration advisor, so all I do is I actually assist with the business aspects of what entrepreneurs need. So there's a lot of people who pretty much see this visa pathway as merely just a gateway to go to the UK, rather than being genuine entrepreneurs who want to set up a business there. And these people lack the fundamental understanding that starting a business, it's a DIY project. It's something that you have to be involved in. Okay, you can hire a consultant such as me to give you guidance, to give you mentorship, to assist with things like your business plan, to do these things, but ultimately you can't just hire someone to run the business for you and go and deal with the endorsing bodies and do all of that. So unfortunately there is an increase in people with this mentality that they just want to get this visa to go to the UK, and really this just won't work. Another rant that I would say is that a lot of the another mentality that really serves to annoy me is a lot of people just seem to want to get free knowledge and insights from you and not pay for a consultation. I've made a previous video about this subject, and this is a common practice where people want to book a discovery call or find out more about me, even though everything about me is out there. My resume speaks for itself, and as I've said before, I don't feel the need to pitch my credentials or abilities to anybody. So people are free to see all the information that's there. I'm more than happy to answer questions about what their needs are and to advise whether I can assist or not. However, a lot of people seem to want to just jump on a call to ask some questions and just get some free knowledge and then just go and apply. And most of these people end up being refused, ironically, as well. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't try to use professionals for free. And as I've said before, I don't offer consultations for free. I don't do video calls for free at all. Then, another annoying trend among people is, it builds on that first point of, I'll pay you this amount and, you do everything for me. A lot of applicants, what they do is they go and pay these hefty figures like 6 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand, or something like that to these firms who give them these false promises of giving them the business idea, giving them the business plan, and doing everything and guaranteeing the visa. Anybody that tells you this, they're lying to you. Okay? It's a lie. Nobody can do that for you. And the business idea, per the rules, needs to come from the founder itself. So this is not for bargain. This is just what the rules say, right? Now, a lot of people are willing to go and spend these amounts just to get the shortcut and the easy way out, and then they get refused. And then they come on online forums like Facebook groups and Reddit and these places, and they just rant. They're like, oh, I've been defrauded. Another funny one was one of these people asking me to go and fight one of these companies to get their money back for them. I'm sorry, I'm not an internet thug, okay? I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a debt collector, I'm a business consultant. But the same people are not willing to spend 500 or 600 pounds, or which was my advisory program's old cost. Now it costs 1,200 pounds. I do believe it's still a very low price compared to what people are getting. They're not willing to spend that much and, get involved in the learning journey and do it with me and, develop the plan, do everything themselves. understand and learn about doing business in the UK, but they're willing to spend 5 times or 6 times that amount to some shady firm abroad, and when they get rejected, they go on online rants. Well, I'm sorry, but you kind of had it coming. So there is that one. And lastly, I would say, parallel to the 3 other things and complaints that I've raised with respect to applicants, it's no surprise that we see a decline in the quality of businesses that are proposed for this pathway. I mean, this visa pathway was introduced with the idea that Britain wants unicorns in mind to come and do this. I mean, we're yet to see these unicorns in place, to be honest, but yeah, it's I would say the quality of proposals has been declining a lot, and a lot of people don't seem to understand what innovation, viability, and scalability actually means, and they just want to come up with some idea and just pitch it and get endorsed. So there is that one. And as I said, I'm a professional in this. I've had an innovative tech startup before. I work with innovative founders who have a defensible USB, okay? And if they don't, I help them build that. I don't work with generic business ideas and people who just want to pay some money and get a visa. Not my client. Don't contact me with these requests, okay? I can't help you. So it's an announcement on this video for that. Well, that's pretty much my rant on the applicants, which is one of the major factors as to why I've decided to not focus on this visa as much anymore in 2025 and moving forward. Another reason is that I have, given a number of circumstances, especially with the things that are happening in the UK, the way a lot of things are declining in the UK, per my personal opinion. I've made a TikTok video about it. It's had over 400,000 views, and a lot of people seem to agree with that. A lot of people are seeking to go abroad. There's a lot of British expats that are seeking to go abroad now and leave the UK, and there is a reason for that. As such, and since I'm a businessman, I have focused on a number of other countries. I have worked on other countries before, but now I will be focusing in more detail and more exclusively on them, namely Ireland, Singapore, the UAE, and Switzerland, and the Netherlands, and this list is likely to increase. So as you can imagine, I have clients for these other countries now, and since I'm an independent consultant, there is only a limited number of clients that I can actually work with because there is only 24 hours in a day. So that's partially why. That's another reason. And given the other things that I've mentioned about the Innovator Founder Visa and the people who are interested in that pathway and some of these toxic and negative traits that I've observed, of course I would be more inclined to focus on other countries. So there is that. For more information about that, you can see my website. There is a dedicated page for each country, and there will be more pages very soon. So there is that one. Another reason is that I had this TikTok channel for about a year now, and I uploaded on a very infrequent basis on that channel. But since between July and December, my channel has grown substantially. I've had about 1.5 million views on that. I talk about a range of themes on that channel. I talk about business, I talk about life, I talk about mental health, all of these things. And not surprisingly, with some of these videos getting between 50,000 to, at least the latest one, over 400,000 views, there's a lot of actual clients that I'm getting from TikTok and people who want business consultancy from me, and these people are not necessarily after a visa or relocation. A lot of them are in the UK and they're established in the UK, but they just need help with their businesses, and I'm more than happy to help them. Instead of people who just want to pay me 10 grand to get them a visa, which I can't do, or people who want to get free consultations under the disguise of a call to find out more about me and just trying to get free stuff with this very bad attitude. People, if you're not willing to spend 200 or 300 pounds on a professional, do you really want to relocate to another country to start a business? Really think about it. Because if you have such financial problems or this mentality, you're going to suffer a lot. I can guarantee you that one. So there is that. So I've got more clients now who, ordinary business clients who are not necessarily planning to go abroad. So there is that. Lastly, and this is an announcement of the services that I am now providing, is, as I said, I work with innovative founders with a defensible USP. As such, a lot of these startups and founders are seeking external funding, whether it's at pre-seed or seed funding or even Series A stage funding. We almost closed the funding round for my own startup in 2020, in early 2020. Unfortunately, with the events that unfolded, that never really happened, but I've been pretty much exposed to investors. I spoke to a lot of incubators, angel investors, and venture capitals. In fact, recently, I have partnered up with one VC officially now as a VC scout, and that is I will evaluate clients and startups that come to me, depending on meeting their criteria. And if I believe that they meet that criteria, I will refer it to the VC who will ultimately decide to invest or not. So a VC scout. I'm in talks with a few more, so there will be more official partnerships and VC scouting arrangements that I will announce in 2025. So that's another area that I will be focusing on. Now again, with that one, my focus is still for a substantial part, it will be international founders, but not necessarily people who want to just move to the UK, not necessarily founders who just have the UK in mind, and certainly not people who just want to do a business just to get a visa. Yeah, you're definitely not the right person for funding. So yeah, that's another thing that I will be doing. And as I said, there's only 24 hours in a day and I am one person. Hopefully I will, in this year, hopefully I will actually expand the team to allocate some of these tasks to, because I am just one person, so I'm doing everything myself. But yeah, that's another reason, is that I'm now focusing on these activities. And as such, given the time limitation and given the very negative traits and patterns of behavior that I see with respect to the Innovator Founder Visa, it's not that I won't focus on it at all anymore. I'm still happy to take a limited number of clients, either for initial consultations or the advisory program or even business plans. However, I will focus far less on it. So there is that. So I would say a word of advice if you are seeking to get the UK Innovator Founder Visa. This is for genuine entrepreneurs. This is for people who have a genuine business idea. Now I understand a lot of people with genuine business ideas or scalable startups may not even want to consider the UK at this point due to a multitude of factors in the UK. However, this is what this pathway is for, okay? It's not for you to pay some consultant a sum of money, a few grand, and then they go and do everything for you, okay? This is not entrepreneurship. It's not how it works. So keep that in mind, and really don't waste your time, don't waste your money, and most importantly, don't waste my time. So there is that. I wish you the best of luck, and see you later.